Second Meeple. Today, we're going to take a look at a light but very strategic tile placement game designed by Günter Burkhardt and brought to us by Rio Grande Games and Hans im Glück. It's Maori. In it, you're populating your player board with tiles for points, but don't leave any blank spaces because that's going to be negative points and it might just cost you the game. The tiles and the player boards are all out in the open, so as you design your islands, your opponents are going to see what you're doing, and they may just take the pieces you need to screw you over. The game is a thinker man's game because with the seashells, you can manipulate the board and possibly plan one or two moves ahead. It's strategic and light, but not too aggressive. I guess it really depends on how you play. Let's take a look. The game plays 2 to 5 people. Each player gets a personal player board and 5 shells. You randomly generate a 4x4 tile board, and the starter player determines where the boat will be placed. When a tile is taken, simply replace it randomly from a pile, and we also have a bank of shells. Movement around the tile area is determined by the number of boats on your player board. It is mandatory to move the boat at least 1 square every turn. However, the current player wants access to this row and they only had 2 boats on their player board. So they move their maximum amount, and now, for each shell they pay, they may move an additional square. To simply access other tiles, you pay more shells to continue moving the boat. As our current player had spent a shell for additional movements, they may also spend a shell to purchase past the tiles on the board. While they could have spent 2 more shells and you always take the tile next to you for free, they simply spent 1 to move there. They will now spend 1 more shell to buy into the board. 1 shell, 2 shells, or 3 shells. They paid 1 shell, take the tile they want, place it on their board, the tile is replaced, and play continues. After moving the boat around the tile board, you now have 5 options when it comes to discovering a tile. Your first option is do nothing. Maybe you simply move the boat to stop an opponent from taking a certain tile. Your second option is to remove a tile from your player board. Your third option is after you move the boat, you take a tile and place it in your storage area. You may only have 1 tile in storage at a time. Your fourth option, instead of taking a tile from the tile board, you may place your tile from storage onto your board. Your fifth option, after moving the boat and taking a tile from the tile board, you simply place it in your player area. However, the orientation of the palm trees must always be upright. The shells and the boats may be orientated in any manner. And like most tile games, the maps must always make sense. So I couldn't actually place that tile there, but I could place it here. For final scoring, any incomplete island is removed from the game. You will receive 1 point for every palm tree, 2 points for a palm tree if a hut is present on the island, regardless of the number of huts, 10 points for a completed lay. The player with the most boats will receive 1 point for each. The player with the most shells will receive 1 point for each as well. Any empty square on your board will be -1 point each. And that, my friends, is Maori. The components are nice, the artwork and the theme work well together. A couple things I will say about the game though, it'd be nice if they had brought out expansion tiles, maybe different orientation or island pieces, other ways to score points, or even if there were curved island pieces, because how you build your board and the amount of space, it would just be a nice added touch. Another thing I actually haven't mentioned yet is the boards are double-sided, and there's also 2 other variations you can play with this game, so you're going to get lots of replayability. I do hope you get a chance to check it out. I'll talk to you again soon.